Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading. So today we are doing the question, how to help my children. So this reading is for those of you who may be going through some challenges with your children, for those of you who may have children who are quite sensitive to energy, and especially with all the shifts going on, they may have a lot of emotions coming up or certain behaviors. And if you're really wanting to get some enlightenment and some guidance from the angels and from your spirit guides on, and from your children on how you can help them moving forwards, and how you can help guide and inspire their growth. So I have 4 groups here, and I've chosen the Light Worker Oracle deck as the picture because I just feel like with the light energy that's coming in at the moment, that I just felt like these are sort of like what's being activated with your child and what's sort of creating some of the change within them. So we have the number 10, the power of the divine masculine here for group 1, the karmic clearing for group 2, the 4th ray of harmony for group 3, and the divine talents for group 4. Please use your intuition and not your mind to pick this, whatever one's standing out to you the most. And I will get started with the first group. Hello group 1, so you chose the divine masculine card to represent your child. Now this doesn't mean that they are a male, it could do, but it doesn't mean that they are, because the divine masculine is within all of us. So the divine masculine is talking about the energy of bringing in that inner power, that inner courage, that inner wisdom to be able to take action towards something, to be able to move towards what it is that you really want to do. That's divine will, you know, really asserting will. And I'm hearing for some of you that your child could be quite stubborn at this time, and I feel like there's some learning around their will, learning about their prospects, learning about their how they fit into this world. So this is what's going on for them at the moment. And then we're going to have a look here as well. So the angel gate here, cleansing, protection and blessing. Okay, so I feel like here this is it's like with this opening up of your child's finding their own will and finding their confidence in the world, that it is really a blessing, and that it's going to, for them being the way they are, it really forges a path for them in the future. It's really a blessing that they have these attributes, because it's going to really help them in the long run, even if it's hard to parent right now, because it's going to help them really take leadership in life. And really I'm hearing if your child's a male, be a very good matriarch in the home, but even for if you've got a female child, this is about really being in her own sovereignty and in her own power and being able to lead others. So this is really, really beautiful energy here. So we're going to have a look with this side here, is what's going on with your child. So we have strength, again, what I was talking about, divine will here. And them finding the courage to be who they are. And we've got love. And we got launching your journey. So if this is an older child, then perhaps they are very determined to travel the world. Or if your children are young right now, perhaps this is what this energy is leading them towards, you know, really looking at all the prospects in life and looking at life like an open, you know, my world is my oyster, and really launching themselves into a really passionate life of journey, of adventure and of love. And, you know, if you've got an older child here, this could be them really about to embark on a journey. When you're reading this, I know a lot of the countries are in lockdown, but perhaps they're thinking of after everything's opened up that they're going to take a big trip. And perhaps you may have ideals about this and worry around this, but this is part of them really taking action and really listening to their own sense of self. And they're really strong in the knowing of what they want to do. They're following their heart. They're following their inner courage, and they're really taking action towards their dreams. And this is not travel, then it's a journey towards their own dreams. Now, for children that are young, I feel like this could be in regards to them really. They could be really testing you because they're pushing limits with you. They're seeing how far they can push the boundaries with you, because this is part of their little bit of a rebellious side of them, and they want to see how far they can push the limits with you. And I feel like for some of them, they're actually wanting to connect with you more. And I feel like that they may be I am getting a vision of some child like pulling at the parents, trying to get the parents, sorry, I've just had a mind blank. Parents' attention, and, you know, perhaps you or, you know, your partner, or if it's just you on your own, then you are perhaps distracted at the moment, and your child's trying to, I'm seeing like a child crying and screaming as well. So that could be that as well, is that they're trying to get your attention. And this way, as I said to you here, this way of them being, whatever stage of life this child is at, it's them really asserting their will in the world, and that's part of that divine masculine energy here, okay? Let's have a look now, and I just have to see what I wrote down for, okay, we're looking at their behaviors and emotions. Okay. So we have the Eight of Wands, we have lead, and we have soaring with joy. Okay, so it's really just, as I was saying, and we were going to be looking at the behaviors on this side, but I feel like this whole reading is sort of blending together. To me, it's telling me that the reason that your child is behaving the way they are, and the way that they are communicating with you, or the way that they are presenting to you, is because of this really strong will within them. And they're very energetic, they're very passionate, they're very, you know, they are going to take leadership in their life. So really bring this out in them if you can, because it's actually a really good thing, even if at times it's hard to parent because they are so strong. And I feel like with this joy card, I'm hearing that for some of them that they really tap into their joy, because I feel like they are very funny. They've got this really humorous side, this really playful side. So I really think if things seem a little bit rigid, or if things start to get a little bit challenging with your child, I feel like tapping into that sort of joyful side of them is really going to help sort of redirect their energy a little bit. And like, I feel like here it's like you finding ways to connect with them that are joyful and that are not restricting too much their own sense of self. So perhaps doing more things that allow them to take a leadership role in a really positive way. And maybe this can really help you to it helps them to see. Okay, sorry, it helps you to teach them a way of leadership that's in a really, really productive way and helpful way. Now, if your child is a toddler and you're watching this, you might be thinking, well, this is a little bit too difficult for me. But just bear in mind that you can tap into playing games with them and teaching them productive ways of leadership starting from now. And bear in mind that this could come up in the years to come as well as they grow up. This is guidance on ways that you can help your child to really inspire their own growth. Okay, so this is just giving you, because we're looking at, you know, what's happening for your child right now and how you can help them. And this is how you can help them, because they are this is what they're moving towards in their life. Okay, and I do see that they're going to have a very blessed life, especially if you inspire their growth, because they are going to be very productive, very you know, able to be really strong and be able to help a lot of people with that. And you being their cheerleaders and you encouraging them with that strength and that real character, they're just going to really bring a lot to the world. Okay, so now we're having a look at how you can help, some further guidance on how you can help them. Okay, I'm seeing with this observe energy, I feel like this is a way that you can help them, is by observing and seeing who they are. Because I do feel like you may come into resistance with them at times, and this is because they are they're very strong-willed. So I feel like it's a message here that to rather than react, or rather than get into an authoritative way of parenting, I feel like it's going to benefit you more to really take a step back and observe them, and even take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the best way for me to respond to this? What's the best way for me to act moving forward, so that I can help guide them in the right direction and also work with this resistance. Okay, because obviously, you know, being in a parent and child relationship, you know, it's much healthier if you can relate to each other whilst respecting each other's boundaries. I see here with the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups is like moving away from something. So I feel like for some of you, this could be to do, if you're the person who's watching, that child is older and perhaps wanting to walk away and wanting to like sort of embark on a new journey on their life and without you, like going, you know, traveling or doing something that perhaps maybe you're not really sure about for them. I feel like this is a message of like allowing them to move away and just taking a step back and just being there for them and letting them know that whatever they embark on is their decision, and that you're here for them, and that if they need you, that you can guide them the way. I feel like that's going to be a better way of looking at it for you, rather than you trying to stop them, because I don't feel like it's going to be very easy to stop them from doing what they want to do just because they are so strong-willed. And I feel like you just have to, you know, walk away from that and focus just on being that pillar for them to come back to whenever they're ready to come back to. Okay, I'm going to get some more clarity on this as well. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands. I get the feeling again here. It's like with this observation card here, and this card with he's looking out to sea, and he's got the world in his hands here. And I feel like again this is about, I feel like the best way that you can help your child and that you can accept the way that things are with your child, I feel like it's more about observing and coming up with ways that you can help your child that serves them in the way of, I'm going to get another card here. Oh, not that many cards, that's too many. I feel like your child is going to be very, very adventurous, even if they're like really small at the moment. When they get older, they're going to be very adventurous. And I feel like you're just going to have to really just encourage that. And perhaps, you know, help them with their decisions as well. Because I see here with the two, it's like perhaps there may be decisions on the best way to approach something. And this could be in regards to you and how you relate to them. It could be decision about how you're going to choose to discipline them, or choose to react to them, or choose to parent them. That's the right word. It's how you're going to choose to parent them. Or this could be helping them to make the right decisions, because they are very strong and they're very passionate, and perhaps sometimes they get a little bit too excited about what they want to do. And Spirit's showing me like a little child like running around from one toy to another and sort of a bit confused about what it is. And it may help for you just to really point out that one toy and go, this is how this toy works. Would you like to know more information about this toy? Or perhaps presenting one toy at a time. So even if your child is older and they're looking at different prospects, you being able to work with them on that and show them their different prospects and go through the different prospects so that they can make the best choice possible for them. And I think that's why I was getting a little bit like confused energy, because I feel like they're just really passionate and really it's like they may even jump from one thing to another at times, and they may get a little bit confused on which direction to take. And this is where you're going to be able to really help guide them. So we have the Confront card here, and I feel like this is about, because this was to clarify this Two of Wands. So I feel like, again, that's that you assisting and guiding them with the right choice to make, and really being this sort of strong pillar for them, knowing that you can tell them as well, from your own experience, and you can show them what's going to be the positives and what's going to be the negatives within a situation. Because you see in this card here, it's like he's looking through, and he's the dark, and he's looking into the child self of himself. And to me, this is like the darker night and the light of day. So it could be about you talking about your experience as a child, to give your child a perspective or it could be reflecting also on your own childhood and how you felt and how you like to be parented, and how you can do better, or how you can bring out the parenting that you had as a benefit for your child. Or it could be to do with you really giving the truth to your child about something, you really showing them that, you know, the choices that they can make. And this can go straight from them being teenagers about to embark on their own journey, or this going straight back to them being, you know, a toddler running around. You know, you can show them the positives and the negatives at their age level. Okay, so now we have their messages to you. It says, we are safe and protected. So I definitely feel like someone watching this, that your child's just about to go and embark on some adventure and you're worried about it. And they want to say that they are safe and protected and that they feel strong enough that they can do this. I also want to say, if they are younger, that they feel like they can do anything. And I feel like they want to say to you, like, you know, mom or dad or caregiver, you know what, I'm going to be okay, you know, I'm all right. Like, again, there's this sense of being strong-willed here, and wanting to do things for themselves. Perhaps too, you could allow them to do some things for themselves within reason, instead of doing everything for them. Perhaps give them a little bit of independence, you know, allow them to help you put things away, or allow them to help you cook, or allow them to take some risks that are, you know, within reason, of course. You know, that's for you to measure. But, you know, not to sort of tie them up too much in a bubble, you know, because I feel like for some of you watching it, the parents, caregivers are watching, perhaps you, and it's probably because you see how, you know, you see how strong-willed your child is and adventurous they are, and how, you know, and perhaps that worries you, you know, which is really understandable, because I'd be the same. But I feel like your child doesn't want to feel restricted, and I feel like the more they feel restricted, the more they're going to resist what you say, okay, and it's going to cause a conflict. And so I feel like they're saying, you know, I feel like the message here is for you to just release them from that attachment just a little bit and give them some choice. You could say to them, another way that's popping up, and I do this with my child, is I'll say, okay, this is what, I can't allow you to do this, but here are your choices. You can do A, you can do B, you can do C. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving power to my child. I'm giving power to my child to make a choice. And I feel like that's going to be really helpful for you, because they really, really get a lot of, they really feel loved when they're receiving that. They really, when you understand them, and when you lift them up, and when you give them their independence, they really feed off that. They absolutely love it. And as I said, it's really going to carry them forward. So wherever you can, give them that freedom of choice within reason, wherever you feel comfortable, because of course you're the parent, you have your own intuition. I want you to listen to your own intuition as well. But this is just some guidance here. And then we have, tell an adult about bullies. So for some of you watching this, your child could be experiencing bullies, or somebody at school who's not treating them very right. That can be a message for some of you. For some of you, this again, I feel like ties with this, where they don't want to be restricted. They don't want to feel like their parents or caregivers are holding them back, like they don't like being restricted in any way. And I feel like for some of you watching, please just take what resonates. For some of you, I feel like they may come off sometimes as a bully because of their spirit showing me, like, you know, a what's it called, the bull with the horns, you know, like they may come off as that, you know, I'm not backing down, and, you know, because and this is because of restriction, that, you know, they like to, and because of leadership, they really like to take leadership. So I really feel like the guidance for you is to help them, is to really give them that choice, the freedom of choice, and show them the positive and negatives of things, but giving them the power rather than putting up restrictions. Because if they see too many restrictions, they're just going to fight against it, which is not going to help you or them. So really looking at, really observing things and seeing the bigger picture, and seeing and really connecting with yourself before reacting, and then coming to a decision from that and giving them a choice. Inspiring them to be the leader that they are, right? And have the strength that they have, but in a really positive way, rather than bringing out the shadow aspects of that. Okay? And we'll just get one more card from here, and I think we'll pretty much finish that reading. So yeah, just take which resonates for you, which scenario. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So if things have been really, and look, that is, I can't leave the animal. See the horns? That's exactly what Spirit was showing me. So some of you may have had this going on, and this is just to let you know that it's coming to an end, this cycle. And, you know, joy is coming back in, and yeah, and I feel like if you decide to use this method, it may really help bring a tough period to its end with your child. I really hope that helps you in inspiring and helping your child to grow, and helping you with some tools to present to your children and parent your children. I send you much love, all the best. Thanks for watching. Hello group number 2, you chose the karmic clearing card here. Now this is representing some of the child's energy and what's being sort of activated with them at the moment. And with this karmic clearing, this talks about them making changes within the DNA of the family lineage, and this is also about them. For some of them, they're actually dealing with karmic clearing, so they're actually clearing away some past life energy. Okay, so there's 2 different types here, or it could be both for the child. Please just take which one feels most right for you. Okay, so I'm just going to focus a little bit more on the karmic clearing here. So if you can have a look at this figure here, and this big bright light, and then there's this figure up here. I feel like this is your child, right, really coming out of some lifetimes where they as a child have had to deal with a lot of hardship, a lot of struggle, And I see them in this lifetime breaking free from those chains, breaking free from a lot of karmic situations from the past, and them really coming into this really bright light. And again, I was mentioning them making changes within the family. So this is really could be very much the case, because when we make breakthroughs, when we make changes, when we bring in a new energy, it also brings in change, and it's like a domino effect. It affects all the people around us. I'm hearing that for some of you, it can cause some conflict in families, particularly if you feel like with this child you're not really gaining a closeness. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit like every time you try to get close to them, you can't get close to them. Or perhaps you feel like they're really different to you. You can't really relate to them. And my throat chakra's going. So perhaps you have really a lot of trouble communicating with them, or, you know, feeling heard by them, or them feeling heard by you. And this is because there's a lot of karma around the relationships within the family. And so this is all taking place for a reason, and it's for their growth as well as your own growth. Yeah, they're trying to seek balance in their world, okay? And with this dedicated effort, I feel like they are willing to really make the effort with their parents or their caregiver. And they really want to paint a new picture. And I feel like, again, with these messages from Spirit, I get the feeling that they are feeling called to really bring balance to the family. Now, for some of you, this could be around... there could have been a breakup within the family, like with the mother or father, or two mothers or two fathers, however your family dynamics, just take what resonates. There could be a breakup with the parents, and your child's really wanting balance, and he or she is trying to send the message that, hey, you know, I want this change, like I want this balance. I don't want all this difficulty. I don't want all this you know, conflict going on, because I just want to feel like things are more balanced in my life, and I just want you guys to be happy. So that's one scenario. Another scenario I'm getting is that perhaps you could be a lot of arguments between in the family external of your child, or it could be with your child. And again, your child's really crying out for this balance. As you can see here, it feels like things are not they're topsy-turvy. However it relates to your situation, things are they're not in balance, and your child is really trying to send that message to you. Perhaps your child could be screaming, could be... I'm seeing hitting things, and it's because they're just feeling this unstableness in the environment, okay? And they're not dealing with it very well, because it's just causing chaos for them. So I'm gonna look at these cards as well. So yeah, okay, so we've got the Lovers and Lead. Interesting, we had this in the last group too, the Lead. And Emerging from Grace, I open my soul to grace. So I feel like they're feeling torn in a way to make a decision between if this isn't a scenario where there's conflict between the parents, I feel like that your child's feeling conflicted about who to be with, or who whether one loves one more than the other, or I feel like this child feels like they're involved in this, even though that they're not. They're just feeling like they're trying to take responsibility for this, and this is causing them to feel unstable, and to react with this, you know, as I said, I can see yelling, screaming, hitting, just, you know, really unsettled child. And it's because of all the chaos going on around them. And you know, they're just taking on this responsibility and trying to send a message to you guys by acting out in the way, however way they're acting out to you. If they're an older child, they could be just arguing with you and not really listening to you. And this is because they're not feeling like their environment, their space is harmonious, and they really they're feeling a little confused, and they're feeling like they don't really understand everything, and they're trying to, but yeah, I feel like for some of them, I can see them trying to act like really strong, and you may be asking them how they feel, but they may be saying, I'm okay, or, you know, you might be trying to get answers out of them, but they're not giving it to you, and it's because they feel like they need to keep strong, or they feel like they, or because they're too young to really understand how to process emotions, okay. They may not be giving you all of the information about what's really going on within them because they don't really understand it. And I feel like they just really want to bring back love into the situation and harmony into the situation. I feel like they, again here with the 2 and the 2, they're really wanting balance. They're calling for balance. So let's have a look at this card here. So we've got Mountain Goddess, high vibration, mindfulness, and the power of the mind. So I feel like what's going to really help your child is for a way for them to get quiet. Now, this for a very young child, I'm seeing them getting outside. You could put them on the little trikes, you know, those little push-along trikes if they're very young. If they're older, specifically if they cannot talk about their emotions with you or what's really going on, I think getting active with them and spending time with them in an active way is really going to help keep their mind clear, and it's going to help you to open up that line of communication with your child. And I feel like with this high vibration, I feel like your child's a very sensitive child. They pick up on subtle energy. So even if there's things going on, even if it's not the case of both parents in argument, or even if it's not conflict in the home, you're listening to this and saying, well, there's no conflict in the home. This could be something to do with you, and I'm getting a lot of mother energy here, but this could relate to father as well, that you've got stuff going on within you, and this child's picking up on it because they are very sensitive to energy. And a lot of the children I'm getting from this pile, especially with the karmic clearing, could be like shamans, healers, sort of, they're very, very sensitive star children. And if they're not working on their own karma, they're working on the karma of the planet, okay? So this is... and so they're picking up on the subtle energy, and because they're sensitive, they want to bring everything into balance. So they're doing everything that they can. And if they're a young child, they may not understand that energy and react, okay, through tantrums and things like that. Behaviors to get your attention, to try and get the message through. And for older kids, this could be a retreating energy, or an energy of trying to... I'm hearing trying to like caretake in a way, or trying to get you to hear in another way through perhaps like just wanting spirit to give it to me a little more clearer. Let me get another card because I'm feeling something, but I'm not really sure what they're trying to say. So just bear with me. Yeah. So I feel like they're trying to communicate to you, but maybe you're not hearing them, and they're trying to help you to make a decision about whatever the scenario is. So if this is to do with the family home being in conflict or chaos at the moment, the older child may be taking on a lot of that energy and then reacting in the way of, you know, trying to take on leadership and trying to fix things, you know, trying to make it better. And this could be causing conflict with you as the parent, because you may not be they may be seeing things in a different light than what you're seeing them in, okay? And that could be causing further unease, okay? And if this is you who is you know, conflicted within yourself and not sort of in the family, and your child's picking up on that energy, the older child may be coming to your aid and trying to help you out, and maybe smothering you too. I'm getting the energy that for some of you, your child may be presenting in the behavior of just not leaving you alone and constantly sort of bugging you. And it's because they know something's up with you, and they're trying to help you in that way. Okay, because they're just trying to understand everything from their perspective, from what they're seeing as a child. Okay, now let's have a look now at, and I feel like I'm missing something. That's okay. Let's have a look now at what they want to say. So they're saying, get ready for big changes and have faith in God's miracles. So I feel like your child wants to tell you that they can see things from a brighter perspective. They want to see everything. They want this happiness within their family, okay, and within you. They want to see this happiness. They want to feel this happiness. They want this sense of freedom, okay? And they're saying, have faith in God's miracles. Have faith that everything's going to work out. And, you know, have faith in them. Have the understanding that they're just trying to make sense of this situation, and they're trying to help you see a better way forwards, okay? All right, so let's have a look now at, oh, that's what we forgot to do. I thought there was more. Sorry, guys. I forgot to, let's just get some further guidance with how that you can help inspire their growth. That's what I'm missing. How can the parents inspire their growth and assist them? Okay. Yeah, okay. So I am seeing here, as I was talking about before, right, there's this energy that's happening around, a lot of like conflict energy, and this could be what they're picking up within you, or it could be what's happening within the family, or it could be you and your child in conflict, and it could be because of attachments to and again, this is, I feel like this devil card is just representing the karmic connections here, and what's being played out is this karma. And I feel like it's with this 9 of Wands here, I feel like this is like a liberation from that. So I feel like for you, the guidance is to really find ways to bring back balance and bring back you know, freedom within an awareness here within the family, so that you can bring about new ideals and new ways in which you can be in harmony together. And I'm seeing here nurturing as well. So I feel like you're understanding. You'll understand your child more if you can give them space and hold space for them and be more nurturing. So I feel like in the family there's not been a lot of that nurturing energy. And you know, I do hear for some of you could be like, well, I do love them very much, yes, but there may be something. Just have a look a little bit deeper. What's happening in the family dynamics? That's or between you and your child. What's happening, and where is it lacking the love? Where is it lacking the where is it lacking that connection? You know, like this, you know, where is it where there's empty holes, Spirit's saying. So, you know, hang on, they're just showing me an image. So they're showing me, like, as an example, I hope that you guys can get what I mean from this, but they're showing me like a seedlings pot where you might have like 6 different containers to put your little seedlings in, and then maybe 5 of them are filled, but the last one isn't filled. There's something missing here. And I feel like if you can discover that and give them that nurturing and give them that love in that area, it's really going to help your relationship or help the family dynamics here. Any further guidance, please? I feel like this is, if it's a family scenario here, this is a really great opportunity for you all to gain healing, gain awareness, gain perspective here. Sometimes we don't see things for exactly the way they are. I know, like, as a parent myself, you know, I'm not perfect, and I have to sit and think and feel into how I'm being as a parent, and how can I be a better parent. And I feel like that sort of reflection really helps us to change our ways, because sometimes we go back to the parenting we had, the patternings that we had, right? And so here I see with the 9 of Pentacles that I feel like once when you give them this space, and when you give them the nurturing, the understanding and the empathy, I can see this really big change coming in, and it's like a breath of fresh air. And I feel like it's like things are going to be, it's like wishes coming true in a way. Things are going to really be a lot more stable within your environment or between you both. And I see here with the Chariot that there's that balance of energies here, which is what your child's really wanting, and you taking control as a parent and taking the measures that's needed, even if you have to do this independently, okay? You taking charge of the situation, really looking into things and where you can make the changes from the past energies and then move forwards with that, okay? So that's the guidance I see. And then we're just going to do one last card here. One last bit of guidance for this group, please. your dreams need a practical plan. And this is just confirming what I was saying about really taking charge in the family, and you know, this is about making a plan about and really investigating and having a look at things and what's really going on, and understanding why your child's reacting the way they are, why they're saying what they're saying, and really have a looking at the family, okay, or within yourself, what's going on within you that's reflecting out within them, because this child's really picking up on it. And so so yeah, this is just confirmation on that, okay? So make a practical plan. I hope that really helps you. Thank you very much for watching. Sending much love. Bye for now. Hello to group number 3. So, for those of you who picked this card here, so the 4th ray of harmony. So your child is bringing harmony to their world, and they're wanting harmony in their, not only in their internal world, but in their external world as well. Let's have a look at this card as well. The Angel Gate. So cleansing, protection, and blessing. We had this card come up again in the first reading. So the Angel Gate is, I feel like they have this beautiful energy, this beautiful calming essence. And if they're not showing that, then this is what they're really capable of. They're really capable of this. They've got a really good healing, beautiful healing energy. And I feel like they've got this, I'm hearing like the Holy Spirit in them, or in other words, they've got like this deeper understanding of, so like a real spiritual sort of energy they have. And I feel like there's, there could be like a star connection for your child, and that they're very connected with the angels, could even be very protected with spirit. And I feel like they're very much a blessing here on earth. And I feel like they are cleansing and purifying the earth. They could be very empathic children. And I feel like their energy is sort of like when they're around other people, it's sort of cleansing and purifying the energy of those people who come into contact with them, or that their aura activates a type of cleansing within that person, and activates a healing within that person. And this is just coming quite purely from their energy source, just because they have a lot of, they've come with them into this lifetime with a lot of energy, and a lot of pure light energy, angelic energy. And so they really, their energy field draws a lot of people in and activates a lot of change with those people around them. Let's have a look what's going on for your child. Okay, we've got the Devil, we've got Rebuild, okay, and we've got Simplifying Your Life. Okay, so your child is going through looks like a transformation at the moment, because we have here, we have the Devil and the Rebuild card. So I feel like something is, there's something changing in their life at the moment. And I feel like there's been something negative in their environment, or yeah, I'm just going to have a look at what's going with their emotional behaviours, because this may shine some light on some things. Okay, we've got Divine Love. Yeah, look at this child. Ace of Cups. They're overflowing with love and light. They're in their heart energy, listening to their heart. Simplify. I'm going to get some further guidance here, because something very, because the Devil here is like something to do with, it can be to do with addictions or attachments. And then we have this Rebuild card, which is like, something that's created a change, and a new foundation needs to be built from that change. So perhaps there's been something really negative that's happened in their environment, or it could be that something's happened to them. This could have been at school. Perhaps this could even be that they're having to release themselves from, perhaps they had ideas about how things were going to be in regards to their schooling life, or this could be in regards to their friends. Maybe they've had a friend that has sort of misled them in a way, and they've had to let this person go, or maybe you've stepped in and said, you know, this person's not right for you. Maybe they've been trying to take them a little bit off course, but let's have a look. I want to get some more information here, because there's something not exactly clear here, and I don't know whether it's the energy that that is around with this child, with your child, I should say. So what's going on with them, Spirit? Have some more clarification, please. Can you clarify the devil? Oh, okay, they're downloading it to me. All right, okay, I'm seeing it. I don't even need to shuffle the cards. They've downloaded it to me. Okay. So what I can see happening here is that your child is has been having addictions, so to computer games, or it could be food overeating. It could be to do with electronics. There's something that they're doing, and they're doing it too much, and it's starting to affect their connection with themselves, and they could even be experiencing bad dreams as well. Your child might be experiencing nightmares and bad dreams, and so I feel like this could be a lot of clutter in their environment as well. Perhaps their environment needs a clean up, because perhaps there's a lot of energy in that environment with all that stuff that's sort of causing them anxiety. You know, I can even see sluggish behavior. And yeah, so whatever it is that they're doing, or whether it's the environment that needs a cleansing, it could even need a physical cleansing. So if you have a lot of people going in and out of your home, and your child's very sensitive to energy, to spirits, perhaps you need to cleanse the area in your home, just so that your child is not picking up on other energies as well. And I can see with this rebuild card, it's like something needs to change, something needs to be, I'm going to get a clarifier for that one. So we have the World. I feel like they need to understand more about the world around them, that they need to understand boundaries, and understand balance, because I feel like they've sort of been taken off course a little bit, out of balance, and I feel like really what's important for them is to be connected with, they need to be grounded, and if they're always doing things to avoid getting outdoors, or avoiding being in connection with the world around them, that this sort of causes them an imbalance. And so the rebuild is them rebuilding their connection with the world around them. You know, you as parents, friendships, and we're talking about friendships in the beginning, so that may relate for some of you with that message. And, you know, with Mother Earth as well. So I feel like by simplifying their life, cleansing their environment, and really perhaps putting some boundaries in regards to whatever it is that they're doing that's negatively affecting their connectedness with the world around them. Because I can see over here, we're talking about emotions and behaviors, but what Spirit's showing me is that this child has this, like this here, the Ace of Cups, is this, it's like they have a lot of eternal love. And I see here with this bird here and the bird here, it's like they have this real connection with the divine, and with the listening to your heart, trust the messages I receive from the heart. And then they've got the heart here. I feel like they are, perhaps their heart and their emotions are trying to tell them that they need to switch off or detach from something, but perhaps they're finding it really hard. Or it could be too that they're, perhaps they could be really, really emotional. They could be crying a lot, and they could be feeling a lot of emotion, and this could be because the reason they're crying a lot or crying at the drop of a hat or over emotional, and it's because they're ungrounded and they need to be grounded. Because with the listening to your heart as well, as I said, they're very, very connected, and so they're getting messages all the time. And if they're not grounded, then this can cause them an imbalance. It can cause, this could also be anxiety. They could be getting anxiety issues and fears, okay? So just, if that's the case, don't try and make it fit. You will relate to whatever message resonates for you, okay? I just want to add that. Don't make it relate if it doesn't. But yeah, just take which one resonates. So it could suffer from a bit of anxiety and fear, but this could be relating to them. So, you know, they really need to start connecting with the world around them. It's going to be very helpful for them. Now let's have a look here, some guidance for you. So we've got success and growth. We've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups. So I feel like with this message here, with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, this talks about things changing for the better. And alongside the success and growth, I feel like you're really going to help bring them in the right direction and help focus on their success and growth by showing them how to focus on the blessings around them, how to focus on, again with this simplifying your life and getting in touch with the world around them. You know, this is stuff that's the simple things in life, like gardening and doing chores and doing, you know, being in connection with the earth, being in connection with their everyday life, you know, and having gratitude for what they do have. So they may have been missing some stuff at the moment that they normally have, and this could be causing a lot of you know, anxiety as well. But with you showing them, like if you look at the Five of Cups here, this man's looking at 3 spilt cups, but behind him is the 2. So if you can help steer your child in the direction of seeing the cups behind them, seeing what they can be grateful for, seeing the world that's laying right in front of them, seeing that other aspects of what they can experience rather than detaching from life, rather than from escaping from life. And I feel like they do that because they're just so connected to energy, connected to spirit, that they can become like, they sort of try to distract themselves because they're so busy in the mind, they're so busy in their awareness, in their energy field. And particularly if they're empathic, they're feeling the emotions of everybody else, so they're reacting to the world around them. And the way they escape is by doing the addictive behaviors, whatever they may be, and detaching from the world. So you really showing them how they can connect with the world and how they can focus on what they can be grateful for. You could even do every night, you know, this you could start a ritual. What are you grateful for? You can say what you're grateful for. However you choose to do it, and however works well for your child, this is going to really bring really good success and growth for your child, okay, moving forwards. And helping them with boundaries is really good as well. And looking up how to cleanse your environment. And you can even, depending on what your child's understanding is, depending on where your child is at in age as well, you can also teach them on how they can protect their energy and clear their energy. You could even make a game of, like, every time, if they're a young child, and they're becoming anxious, picking up on a lot of people's emotions, and what you could do is every time they have a bath or a shower and you're showering them, bathing them, you can make it a game of imagining the water taking a filling with like bad energy, or if that's too much, perhaps you can just, I don't know, think of something really creative, like putting all of the bad feelings or uncomfortable feelings into the water to be released down the drain. Or you could relate it to a cartoon characters in a show and just say, just imagine if you had these cartoon characters here, and in your energy you can imagine them going down the drain or something. I don't know, just be creative with that, and help that child just to release energy that's no longer serves them. Or you can, Spirit's also saying you can just get them to, you could do a salt bath for them every month or something, and get them to sit in that, a cup and a half of salt in a warm bath, just to help clear their energy field as well. Okay, that's just some guidance there. Take what you feels right for you, what works for you, your child, the scenario. Okay, this is their message from them. Stand up for yourself and call upon your angels. So I feel like their message here is that, again, I'm getting that sense of boundaries here, and I feel like they really want to learn how they can be in their power and how they can stand up for themselves, and they want you to teach them that, because you can see here you've got mother bear or father bear and baby bear, and the bear is teaching the child how to grow in the world, teaching about confidence, teaching how to keep teaching the child to protect themselves. So, I feel like this is a message from them saying, teach me how to have boundaries, how to stand up for myself. And then they're saying, get them to call upon their angels. There's actually a really good book. Let me grab it, and just for a moment, I'm going to go and get it, because if your children are young, this book may be really helpful. Just a moment. Hello, I'm back. So this book here I bought for one of my children, and it's from Doreen Virtue. It's called Thank You Angels, and what I love about it is it talks about how you can ask your angels for help in different situations. And I feel like for your child, that's going to be really important, especially because they're empathic, they're very connected to spirit. And I feel like the angels, if you feel like, it's hard for you to understand or hard to know how to help them in that way, then their angels are there to guide them and help them too. And if you can show them or tell them that they've got like angels that protect them and look after them, and that's also giving them power to ask for help when they need it as well. And also in your case, you can call upon the angels to help with your child, to help protect your child as well. Okay, and it's not like, when I say this, it's not like your child's in any harm. This is just about helping keep their energy clear, help keeping them stable, help keeping them more grounded and more connected with life, rather than too much in the spiritual realms, okay? So that's the book there. We're just going to get one more message and then we will be finished. So this message is just some further guidance in how you can help your child. And this says, your dreams need a practical plan. And I feel like this is about you. I feel like I want to say, really visualize when you think of the future for your child, especially if you're having any challenge around your trying to get your child to move in another direction with their focus, you know. I feel like every time you have thoughts about that, I want you to recreate that thought into what it is that you would like to see them doing to help with the energy and to bring a plan about, as I said, like really putting in some measures to help them with boundaries and standing up for themselves and looking at what they can be grateful for. So that's the messages I have for you. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. Hello to group number 4, my final group. You have divine talents here. Okay, so this is representing your child, what's being activated with your child, what is happening with your child. And with the divine talents card, I get this sense that your child has some very special talents. So they could be like playing an instrument. It could be writing. It could be playing a sport. I mean, in many, many, many different areas, your child has a special talent. And this has come from other past lifetimes, or it could be channeled from the divine. Okay, when they pick up that instrument or when they sing, I'm hearing like a child prodigy even. Like they're just really special in their talents. It's out of nowhere, and so I'm getting that message for your child. I'm also seeing here the dolphin caller. It says pure, joyful friendships and loving help. So I feel like this is about your child having a calling to through their talents that's going to help a lot of people. And I feel like this is like being independent in this card and being on top of a rock. I feel like there's a sense that your child is somebody who spends a lot of time working on their talent, is sort of going to embark on sort of a journey of independence in regards to it as well. And I see them really standing out to others, and I feel that they are with the dolphin caller as well, is that people are really going to admire your child, okay? And this could be happening now for your child, it could be happening in the future for your child, but it in some ways in relation to what's happening for them, what you know, why you've come to this reading as well. So let's have a look what's going on for your child. We have the 3 of Cups, we have the 4 of Swords, we have solar plexus, we have helpless and hopeless and following your bliss. Okay, this is interesting because the 3 of Cups and the bliss energy is very similar, okay? Because this is talking about celebration, this is talking about your, you know, my soul sings with joy, so following your bliss, following your happiness, and, you know, singing your own tune. And again, we have here this playing the flute, a connection with music, okay? So connection with your child's talents. And the solar plexus, okay, this is making sense to me. So I feel like what's going on for your child right now is that they are perhaps feeling feeling called towards, you know, following their path in regards to whatever talent it is that they have. I feel like there may even be pressures on them to achieve a lot, or it could be that the community is expecting a lot from your child. Please just take what resonates. Here's just spirits giving me some different scenarios. But I do feel like with the Four of Swords, the solar plexus, and the helpless and hopeless, is that your child is wondering whether they can achieve what they're setting out to achieve, or whether they're going to be able to bring that talent through to completion, or whether they're going to be able to please the people that that are listening to their talent, or hearing their talent, or reading their talent, or whatever the talent is. The people who are responding to that talent, they're really wanting to do a lot of they really wanting to do well, and like I know they're talented, but there's something about their confidence. They're not feeling. They're wondering whether they'll be good enough. They're wondering whether they're going to be able to live up to the expectations of others. I do get this sense with your child that they are very because, like I said, they're very independent, but they're very it's almost like, to me, they're perfectionists. They like to do really, really well, and sometimes this can be to their detriment, because it causes this helpless and hopeless energy, because they're high achievers is what I'm getting, okay? And that's because, you know, they are very talented. They could be very talented in many different areas as well, okay? And so they may reflect on this and worry about how they're, you know, whether they're going to be, you know, live up to the expectations of others, or live up to their own expectations, because they want to do better. They're always wanting to do better and better and better. Okay, so take what relates in that scenario. Okay, their emotions. They're wanting to take a risk with something, and they're wanting to spread their wings. Okay. And they're wanting to follow their bliss. Now, this is really kind of, I'm getting the sense here is that they want to do better. They want to stretch their limits. They want to move past. They want to do better than they've ever been. And again, there's that sense of high achiever. They want to do better. They want to be better, and they're happy to take the risks to reach their goals, to move past their boundaries, to move past any boundary, past any limit. They're willing and ready to step out there and do whatever they want, and you know, they're just happy to follow whatever they love. They're happy to just, you know, to go for it. But I guess what's going on for them is that they're just feeling like they, you know, they're putting too much pressure on themselves, and they're feeling ready. And the perhaps too, there's another energy here where perhaps they're really ready to go. They're ready to take a step on something, and perhaps what's going on for them is that perhaps you as the parent or caregiver is seeing them so ready to take a step and take a risk and just go for their talents, and perhaps you're being a little more cautious, and perhaps you're putting in some limitations around that, some boundaries around that, and perhaps they're not liking that. So that's just another scenario as well. Let's see if I can get any more information here. I'm going to just get my... Yeah, so with the Knight of Swords, you know, they're ready to charge ahead here, and but I feel like they're being held back in a way, and if it's not you holding them back, then something's holding them back from, you know, moving forwards, because they really feel like they're really ready to take a step, to take a chance, to take a risk, and they want to follow their heart. They want to follow this calling, and but there is some sort of limitation, a boundary here, and it could be to do with their confidence and them feeling like they could be putting the boundary in the sense that they are feeling like they're not good enough, or feeling like they need to be better, or this high achiever sort of attitude. Or it could be you as a parent putting a boundary in because because perhaps they're wanting to do something that's a little more adventurous than you're feeling comfortable with. Perhaps they're older than they are in their mind, and want to do all these things, and yet they're too young, you feel, to do that just yet. Or it could be that and if your child's very small, I can just say them as a child who just is like a tornado. They just go in and pull everything apart, and just, you're always saying they're always doing something, or they're always getting into something, and it's because they are just they get their mindset on something, and they just go for it, even as a little child. There's nothing holding them back there, because they're just so they're focused on what it is that they want to achieve, and they really want to please. There's this sense of pleasing others. So if your child's very small and sees everybody laughing at what they're doing, or getting that, they're just going to do more of that because they see you celebrating that. So be mindful of that if they're very small, and what's perceived as funny as a small child. If it's something that you wouldn't really want to encourage them as they get older, then perhaps reflect on that, and maybe make some decisions around that, because it is coming up, and perhaps that what might be laughed at late now may encourage a behavior you don't really want to see later on as well. And if they're a small child as well, who with the confidence, if they're being affected by this helpless and hopeless, this confidence energy, then they could be their attention span may not be fully engaged. If they're really young or in school, they may not be fully engaged, because they want to do creative pursuits, or they're very creative minded. So to sit and learn the other ways that other kids learn may not work for your child, and so they feel like they're not good enough because they can't reach the educational milestones, or the very structured way of what is considered normal in society, where they're this really talented child who's just ready to take a risk, ready to do what they love, but they're being held back in that way. Okay, so there's a few different scenarios here. So what is the guidance to help your child? Okay, so we have here the Hierophant, and we have the Four of Cups. And we have strengthening bonds and revealing radiance. My light illuminates the world. I feel like this is about, so the guidance here to help them is to really, as a parent, get them to see that their worth, get them to see that that they've got these really focus on their I'm just trying to get the words out here. Get them to focus on their abilities. Get them to really show praise to your child where they're doing really positive things, where they excel, where their talents lie. Really show them that you're very proud of them in that way, and take the time to help them to grow those areas that they are really good at, and that will help them take their focus off the areas that, you know, they're worried about. Another thing that's coming up here, that I feel like your child gets bored, and it could be because they are a high achiever and wanting better. Okay, take which I've told, there's many different scenarios within this reading, so bear with me. But this, your child could be a high achiever, and because they're a high achiever, they could get very bored. Now, this can even link in, I do know of some people in my life who are very, very smart, very intelligent, but when it comes to education, they can't focus because they're just, it's just they've got a really high IQ, but they don't have the attention span for that, because the way their mind works is different. The way that they choose to be in life is different to everyone else. They just can't sit there. They could have some sort of, somewhere on the, they could be somewhere on the autistic spectrum even, okay? So they may have a bit of boredom here. So I feel like discovering some, you know, really focusing on their talents, discovering where they can be engaged and focus on those areas to really reveal the radiance of who they are, for them to really see how important and how much worth they have in the world is really going to help them gain more confidence. And I see with these strengthening bonds that I feel like this is about you really connecting with your child, to really gaining more understanding of your child, and with you working with them on this, this is really going to get them to see how worthy they are, and how they're, you know, even if they're a little bit different to others, that you really cherish and respect and love that aspect of who they are. You love who they are unconditionally, and I feel like spending time with them more is really going to help them to feel it's like your connection with them, you spending more time with them, helps them to feel much more loved and much more, I'm trying to get the right word for it, but they feel, it's like it takes away any anxiety or worry, or takes away, yeah, I just can't, I'm not getting the word that, I've got the feeling, guys, but I just can't translate it, the word. But yeah, there's just something about you connecting with them is really going to help their growth, okay? So let's have a look now at what message they have for you. They have dream, they have sleep and rest, and they have make a wish. Okay, so here, let's have a look. So their message to you is that they're a dreamer, okay? There's someone that has the ability to dream big and look beyond and see things beyond what others may see. That they're very unique, and as I said that here, they're unique, and this allows them, being the dreamer, allows them to really bring in these divine talents into their world, and to be unique and be special and ground their light. I just see the challenges here for them is around their schooling life, just because there's, or even when they, if they go into a normal sort of job, normal, I'm just saying, what's expected in society, I see them having some difficulty around this, because they are very much dreamers. They're, you know, like you see that with the Fool energy, like, you know, they want to just do what they love, and they dream big, which is beautiful, and they have a big imagination. A lot of the younger children may do really well as well with imaginative play or role playing. This may be a way you can strengthen bond with them, but also a way that you could help them in learning something is by acting it out. So sleep and rest. So I feel like they may need to rest more than others. They may get tired easily, and that's just because there's so much energy within them. I get the sense a lot of the children that we're talking about here are very active, and so I feel like they do need a lot of sleep to gain their energy and rest. And I feel like you encouraging them to rest is really going to be helpful too. And I see here with Make a Wish, again, this is like them dreaming big, them working, them being really good manifestors. I feel like that because they're such good dreamers and they're so, they're not afraid to take a risk, they're not afraid to follow their heart, that although it can cause a little bit of conflict with others or worry with others because they're just so quick to make a decision and charge towards their hopes and dreams. Although that can be hard for others, I see that for them they're really good at manifesting, and I feel like Spirit's showing me it's like someone jumping, and I see like the universe holding a net out, and it's like they jump but the universe catches them with the net. But they're very, very good manifestors because of this ability. So really keep them in that. It is a good thing for them to be doing this, because this is how we all need to be in order to create and manifest our hopes and dreams. And yes, there does have to be some boundaries, I understand, but it's about finding a way of showing them that this is okay, but also that finding a way to show them that some things need to be thought about as well. Some things need to be rested on, so you could give them guidance about, okay, you could say to them, oh, this is really positive, I really love this dream of yours, tell me more about this dream, tell me more about what you want to do. And I think this is great, but however, can we just rest on it? Let's talk about it a little bit. I want to discover more, just to get, even if you don't want to say, because I feel like for a lot of these children, that if you say, hey, just rest on it, they're just going to go, no, I'm right, I want to do this. But I feel like, especially if they're older kids here, that if you actually just say, hey, tell me more about it, sounds really exciting, and then maybe you can just put little suggestions in. Okay, so all right, so if you if you go and do this tomorrow, what do you think you're going to do once you get, say if they want to like take a plane tomorrow and go to another country. Okay, so if you take that plane tomorrow and you go to that other country, what are you going to do when you get there? And how are you going to have the money to live? And, if you can do it in a subtle way, this is just an example that may help in the way of really being positive, encouraging them, but also getting them to think. I think that's going to be your real focus here, is getting them to see. Because like this card here, they're not looking, they're not focused, they're just sort of very content. And even this person's got their arms folded, so they're very content on what they want to do. And like this card here, once they get their mind on it, they're like, bat out of hell, they're out, they're gonna do it. So for you, it has to come through subtle ways. Through suggestion is going to be the best way to deal with that. All right, let's just get a last message. Oh, whoa. Talk about fast energy. These cards like flew out the deck. Okay, so what have we got? It's time to take action, and a new romantic cycle begins. Interesting. Let's have a look. with this new romantic cycle begins, if your child's like older, like teenage years, they could be somebody who really takes action in regards to romance as well, very, very, very quickly. So that's what this scenario could be about. But it also, I feel like it's about getting them to see. I feel like with the balancing scales here and this action again, it's just confirming what I was talking about, is just getting them to see balance in the situation, because they do take action rather quickly, okay? So it's getting them to really dig deeper and to really to see the whole scenario and all of the possibilities before they go jumping ahead of things. So that's the messages I have for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Sending you much love. Bye for now.